Throughout his motorsports career, Idaho native Stingray Robb has pushed limits, fought battles, and climbed his way to become the driver he is today. After a slow start to another Indy Pro season, Stingray found himself searching for answers following a disappointing result at Mid-Ohio.
Race 1, I think I started like second. I was so close to getting that pole, and I ended up finishing that race in 10th, and it was no one's fault but my own. I came in after that event, and I was just so disappointed with myself. I was like, I've given up. I ended up walking away from the team for a little bit. I was like out there just praying, hoping that I could find an answer of just like, how much more do I have to go through? And in that moment, I kind of felt like a peace and clarity in them. Just thinking back about everything that has happened was all for a reason. You know, from that moment on, I felt happy. I mean, I was ready to learn from those mistakes, and the next day I ended up getting my first win. People think that the win was the turning point, but it was that 10th place finish that finally set the direction.
That same ambition and drive to learn was what helped him clinch the Indy Pro 2000 Championship in 2020. A spark that would ignite his hunger to win a spot on the NTT INDYCAR grid. His debut Indy Lights season brought with it a learning curve, showing Stingray new speeds, and more importantly, new rivals. Once again, linking up with his championship-winning team, Robb put his head down and piloted his Uncos racing machine through the rest of the year's events, capping off an experiential season that proved vital in his education as a racing driver.
2021 as a whole has been a little bit of a disappointing year for me. You know, we had high expectations to compete at the front of the field, and we just weren't able to achieve those. I can't tell you enough that I am motivated beyond compared to where I was last year. Going into next season, I know what we're capable of, and I know that where I'll be, it will be enough that I can have the resources to compete at a high level. All I can say is good things about Juncos Racing. They've been a huge part of my career the last 3 years. They're like my family, and so I'm sorry to them for the year that we had, but I think the focus is forward and on to next year.
For 2022, the Indy Lights grid has grown hungrier. Champions will join other champions when the green flag drops in St. Petersburg. And this time, Stingray Robb has joined forces with a titan, icons of the sport, legends of speed. Andretti Autosport has produced the last 3 Indy Lights champions, a pedigree which has single-handedly built the icons of tomorrow. As Stingray prepares for the biggest season of his career, he sets his eyes on one thing: adding his name to that list.